Hey, bud, why don't you come and play some Warframe with me?
I don't wanna.
But it's a lot of fun, and you could be like ninjas, and there's lots of weapons, and it's a really cool game. I really think you'll enjoy it.
No, I don't want to play Warframe.
But like you'd be missing out on like all the fun experiences, and they have like Venus and this new open world and stuff coming out and stuff.
I said no, I don't want to play Warframe. I never want to play Warframe.
Why don't you want to play Warframe?
Because I love Destiny and I spent a lot of money on it, and Destiny is amazing.
But is it actually really amazing? Because it seems like it was very disappointing the last time Bungie messed up. You know how like it was supposed to work and all that sort of stuff.
Listen, we're not friends anymore because you don't want to play Destiny. You're always trying to get me to play Warframe.
Um, uh, okay, okay, little too much there, but sure.
Alright, yeah, now get out of here so I can go back to playing Destiny by myself because nobody plays it anymore.
All right, fine. So anyway, what's up, you guys? This question came in, and by the way, I'm a fan of Destiny. I just thought that'd be funny to say all that. So just so we're clear on that, I'm not really hating on Destiny. It's just a lot of what I'm hearing about Destiny going on behind the scenes and stuff from you guys. But okay, so here we have question from Manny L. PC, how can I get my friend into Warframe? The game is very overwhelming at first, but I know they'll enjoy it after they invest enough time into it. I just don't want the initial introduction to hinder their opinion to the game. Manny, I hope you're ready. Whip out your pen and your notebook and all that sort of stuff, because we're going to talk about a lot of psychological tricks that you could use to get your friend involved in Warframe and all that sort of stuff. And believe it or not, the begging them and asking them to play and all that sort of stuff, as most of you may have guessed already, that don't work. That stuff totally don't work. In fact, it kind of turns people off and makes them want to play it even less. So if you guys are trying to get your friends or anything like that into Warframe or just any game in general, all you really got to do is just have loads of fun with it and just talk about how much fun it is and stuff. But the moment you're like, yeah, man, you should get into it. First of all, should is a terrible word. You guys should not be using that word. Or I should say, don't use that word, because should is implying that they have the option or whatever. You don't even want to give them an option. You literally just want to be like, say stuff along the lines of like, oh man, I've been so just, and you need to say it casually too. You can't sound overexcited or anything like that. You don't want it to sound forced. You just want to be like, man, I cannot stop thinking about Warframe. I got a lot to do and I'm just really enjoying it. Like, or just stuff along the lines of like, oh man, I totally got another Warframe the other day and I love it. I love the Warframe. Like, oh, I just got a Rhino the other day. The dude is such a beast. Oh, I wish other games had, stuff like that. And just whatever it is, you want to throw stuff out like that. Like, oh, I wish other games did stuff like that. Or, oh man, it's really cool. Like, I can't believe this game is free. Like, this is the coolest free-to-play game I've ever played. And Manny says over here, like, he doesn't want the initial introduction to kind of, like, hinder the experience or whatever. Because, as you guys know, like, Warframe, in my personal opinion, you don't really understand what's going on when you're playing Warframe until maybe about 200 to 400 hours of playing it. If you guys watch my walkthrough guide, that gets sped up significantly. Like, I really break down, like, all the things that you need to know to really get good at the game. To make yourself overpowered, and just a lot of the right direction for you guys to be on if you guys are watching, if you guys seen that. Links are in the description for the walkthrough, just like links are in the description for a lot of other stuff. But as far as like getting people involved in a game, no matter what game it is that you want to play with them, like just talk about like, just if it's on your mind and you're hanging out with them, casually just kind of say stuff like, don't make it like, hey, we're going to talk about Warframe right now because I'm really excited about it. And meanwhile, they have never played it before. They have no idea what you're talking about. They have no visual references to think about what you're talking about. So when you're like, oh, yeah, man, no, I got all these characters and I can customize them all and they all look really cool and everything. And, I'm just really excited about that. Like, they have no idea what it is that you're seeing in your mind. It's totally blank to them. So when you're saying all this stuff, it's just jargon. Honestly, the best thing that you guys can do is just talk about, like, oh, how much fun you're having, how you've gotten really addicted to it, and you can't stop playing it. You probably want to say stuff like, and be honest with people, because if you give people high hopes, like, oh, it's amazing, it's all this sort of stuff, and then they get into the game and they realize, wait a minute, it's going to take forever for me to get this stuff. They're going to be very disappointed before they even got into the game. So the worst thing you guys can do is wind up saying stuff along the lines of, like, oh yeah, it's amazing. It's you know like it's just don't make it sound like it's the greatest thing in the world from the beginning. The way that I've always described Warframe is when I started playing, and this is from personal experience, but when I started playing the game, I was like, yeah, at first I was like, oh wow, this game is really cool. And I just kept playing it, and the more that I played it, the more I kept being like, wow, it gets better. And then I'd play it even more, and I'd be like, oh my god, it gets better. And then I'd play it even more, and I'd be like, how? How is it even possible that it keeps getting better? It's just, the further you get through the game, the absolute better it gets. That's how I've always explained it and stuff, but I never really came from a place where I was like, oh yeah, no experience in grindy games, no experience in, like working for your food, so to speak, like no experience in any of that. Oh yeah, it's totally for you. You should totally get it. Just honestly, the best thing you can do is be honest with everybody that you're trying to get involved in, this Warframe or any game, period. Just tell them. A lot of times people, and what I found is a lot of people are afraid to say that a game is grindy because they feel like, oh, it's going to take a lot of time to get through the game. It's going to take a lot of time, to get all the stuff that you need and to power yourself up and to level all that sort of thing. And the worst thing you can do to somebody is like try to hide the fact that it's grindy. Just be honest with them, because what I found is there are a lot of people that like grindy games. So don't be afraid to tell, any of your friends, like, oh, the game is really grindy. If they don't like grindy games, then even if you did get them to play the game, they're going to do what? They're going to play it for 10, 20 hours, maybe even get you to gift them some stuff. If you guys have watched my trade chat videos and you're good at making platinum, maybe you've gifted them some things. And then after they have those things, it's still grindy. That grind doesn't go away. So then they're all like, yeah, well, I'm not really playing anymore. And then you feel like a schmuck because you gave them all this stuff that you gifted them and everything with platinum that you worked hard for, and now they don't even want to play the game anymore, and then you just feel like, well, that was a friggin' waste. So the best thing I think you guys can do is just, like, be honest about the game. Be like, yeah, it's totally a grindy game. Like, yeah, you're not going to run out of things to do. Yeah, like, you can totally, if you wanted to, just make one Warframe really powerful and get there fairly quickly, with work, but you also want to tell them, like, dude, I'll be there, like, I love the game, like, if you want me to help you level up and stuff like that, I got you, we can get you to, like, we can get you on the fast track to whoop ass a lot quicker than, you would if you were playing by yourself. Just be honest, like, tell them all that sort of stuff. But again, like, the last thing you guys want to do is just get overexcited about getting them involved in the game, because that turns a lot of people off. It's that overexcitement for things that they can't visually see what you're talking about. Like, they're not they can't match your excitement because they can't see what you're talking about. Like, you really could talk about anything. You could, if you want, you could be like, well, I don't know, I just think you'd like the game because I saw you playing this other game and, there's a lot of similarities to it. Like, you guys, I could totally compare this game to Fortnite. The PvE, at least, of Fortnite. You'd be like, dude, yeah. You know how there's, like, a lot of characters in Fortnite for you to choose? Yeah, dude, there's a lot of characters for you to choose in Warframe. You know how all those characters have different perks and abilities and stuff like that? Yeah. Same thing with Warframe. Only Warframe, they got, like, more perks and abilities per character, which is pretty cool. Because then it's kind of like you just have more things to do with it. You're more versatile in the game and all that stuff. Yeah, you know how, like, Fortnite has, like, all those weapons and all that sort of stuff, and there's, like, lots of different purposes, and there's different attributes to all the weapons. Yeah, same thing in Warframe, man. Only Warframe's got, like, 400 plus weapons. I don't even think Fortnite's breaking 100 yet. They might actually. Actually, Fortnite might be breaking 100, but I don't know. Fortnite's got a lot of weapons, too. But, like, you guys, you really could just, you can compare it any which way you want. And just totally turn it into something, bigger, and try and get them involved in the game and stuff like that way. But, I don't know. The options are really endless. You guys probably know your friends better than anybody, so if there's anything that you can do to get them into the game, just think about whatever game they like a lot, think about how it's like Warframe. But also keep in mind, too, the reason why I really love Rocket League, the reason why I really love Fortnite, the reason why I really love Gears of War, reason why I really love Grand Theft Auto is because as much as I can say that there are a lot of things similar to Warframe, and the reason why I really love those games is because they're not a copy and paste of Warframe. Sometimes when I've been grinding Warframe for like days upon days upon days, I want to take a little break and play something that's not grindy. I want to play another game where there's stuff to do in it that's not grindy. So just, I don't know, try to figure your friends out. Think about, like, the best way to do that is ask them questions. You know, like, what do you like best about the game? What do you like least about the game? If they say they like least about whatever game it is they're playing, the grind that they have to do, then maybe don't talk about the grind in Warframe. Maybe just be like, oh, well, I don't know, man, maybe you should switch it up and try some sci-fi thing. Or if they're already playing a sci-fi game, maybe you should switch it up and try something with, like, space ninjas. Or if they're already playing something with ninjas, and they're playing a sci-fi game, be like, oh, well, maybe you should play something that's a little bit more of a shooter. You know, like a third-person style. If they're playing first-person, that's easy. Maybe jump into, like, a third-person shooter or something like that. There's so many different ways you can, like, reword it. But ultimately, your friends are going to do one of two things. Either they're going to play the game, or they're not going to play the game. And the last thing I want you guys to do is to beat yourselves up over it like that was because of you. It's just like you're an individual and you have preferences, your friends are individuals and they have preferences too. So don't think that if don't think that if they don't want to play it, after all this hard work you've been trying to get them involved in this game or any other game, that it had anything to do with you. People are individuals, they have their own minds made up most of the time, they have their own opinions and all that sort of stuff, and just let them be them. The most attractive thing you can do is respect other people for their opinions and who they are and what they want to do with themselves, and that's more attractive. That will pull people into wanting to play games with you because you're not pestering them about wanting to play this particular game. You're not bugging them constantly about, hey, you should give it a try or you should get on it and stuff like that. The best thing you can do is, without telling them they should do it, just tell them how much fun you're having doing it. And don't, like, just start conversation out of nowhere. Be like, you know, like if your conversations are typically like, hey man, what's going on? Oh, nothing much, how you doing? I really love Warframe, I've been having a lot of fun with it. Like, that's weird, and that's not how normal conversations go. Just wait, be patient, just like in trade chat. And when you find the opportunity to just slide that in there, be like, you know, so if they're like, oh, what you been up to? You can just be like, oh, Warframe. And then, you know, then that's it, just, oh, Warframe. If they're gonna take the bait, they'll be like, oh, you know, then they'll say something about it, like, oh yeah, you're still playing Warframe, huh? Then you could throw another little piece of bait out there, like, yeah, man, I'm just really addicted to it. Like, there's just so much going on, and I'm really enjoying the hell out of this. Like, I can't stop playing it. Just something little, something totally little, but just jumping on top of them and being all like, come on, man, Warframe is the best. You just gotta try it, please, 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 just try it out. That stuff don't work. It really don't work. And if it does work and they try it out, they're not in a good mindset. They're not interested because they chose to be interested. They're interested because you pestered the crap out of them, and there's a piece of them just wants you to shut up about it. So they're going to try it so that you stop pestering them. So just be casual. Be cool, be calm, be casual, and hopefully you guys get a lot more of your friends involved in Warframe, and you can increase the fun you're having. Worst case scenario, there is always a region chat, a recruiting chat. You got your clan dojos, you got your alliances, you get all this other stuff. You can just make friends that are already on the game, and that'll make your life a lot easier. But all that being said, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Absolutely love your faces. Again, if you guys are looking for walkthroughs, guides, how to make platinum, all that sort of stuff, links, as always, are in the description down below. Love your faces, and I'll see you guys in the next one.